Welcome back to another episode. So, topic for today, the unicorn. And it goes along the story if you heard previously or earlier. Porsche's spicy secret helped me find the unicorn. So, today's discussion is going to be around what is this unicorn? So, this day and age, a unicorn is something that is rare, that is hard to find. And normally, when you consider business, these are, let's say, your entrepreneurs that are able to do crazy and wild and outlandish things that, from first sight, don't look like they will work, but for one reason or another, end up being wildly successful. So, my unicorn, or I guess the unicorn within this discussion or this topic, ends up being a car. Now, if you tuned in and you saw last year, I found a Mercedes S500. And that ended up being the sleeper car of my choice. I was looking and looking and looking, and that was the one car that was actually able to fit the entire family comfortably. So I got that. I got that last year. But upon this search and Porsche's spicy secret, it unveiled another unicorn to me. And this one captured my attention. Why? Because this vehicle was very hard to find. Now, the vehicle you might be asking about is not something that's, let's say, uncommon, but it's just very hard to find. The reason it's hard to find is they did not make many of them. So, the vehicle itself is the Infiniti FX50. It is a SUV that pretty much changed the market in regards to Infiniti. When he started first talking about sport utility vehicles and vehicles that actually came out that performed, that were performance vehicles, this Infiniti FX50 was like top of the list. They put features in there that a lot of the cars today still actually incorporate, like the whole idea of this around view camera where you actually have a camera at the front, at the rear, and on both sides. So when you actually park, it's like a video game. You can see all 360 degrees around you, right? So they called that around view. And it just had other just very interesting, unique features, such as the ability to have a rear-wheel drive vehicle, but the moment the front wheel slip, then that turn it into four-wheel drive. So a lot of these really cool and interesting features. And what's interesting about this FX50, it is a V8 390 horsepower vehicle with an engine that, an engine that was really only developed for that vehicle. It wasn't developed for anything else other than that vehicle. And the thing that's interesting and unique about it is that those vehicles, they did not make very many of them because they weren't very popular, right? So if you've ever seen vehicles that you hadn't made very many of, it's because for one reason or another, this one, they just so happen to not be very popular. But for some reason, it captivated my attention. Why? Because I saw some groups that talked about how cool and how fun this vehicle was to drive. And my opportunity happened this past week on Wednesday, where I actually had a chance. Again, I saw it out of the corner of my eye on carguru.com, and they actually had an Infiniti FX50 at a local dealership not too far away from me. And since I had the time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for the test drive. I had been looking for the car for a couple months just to see where they were because I wanted to experience it for myself. But I had the opportunity to experience it for myself. And let me tell you, that was just a unique and awesome experience. And I'm still kind of relishing in the fact that I actually had the chance to drive one. And there's just something about it where it's not just the fact that it's just super quick or fast or anything, but it just growls from the moment you put the pedal to the metal, and it was just really cool to drive. So that was my unicorn. Porsche's spicy secret helped me find my unicorn. Now, you probably don't know who Porsche is, and you probably don't know what that spicy secret is, but if you stay tuned, I'll unveil and take additional layers off the onion for you so you can figure those pieces out. But the unicorn itself, the FX50, it has still eluded me because even though I thought I had the negotiation lined up and I made an offer and I was looking for a deal, it just wasn't to be had. The vehicle needed too much work and the dealer was not willing to come down in price. So that just wasn't meant to be. But I have not stopped the search. I'm still looking in a few other places. But that has appeared as my unicorn. Why? Because, well, my MR2 is, unfortunately, it's not going to make it through the long haul. It was deemed that the rust was so bad underneath that the vehicle is just in disrepair. So there's nothing I can do with it. It's almost like my vehicle has cancer and it's got kind of a limited time frame and limited lifeline. But I told myself, if I could find a unicorn to replace my unicorn, the MR2, that I would pull the trigger. So I haven't found it yet, but I had a taste of it, and that taste was oh so good. So I'm still looking. I'm still continuing that search. Wish me luck in it, but for the fact that I actually got to test drive it, I'm positive that that is going to be a suitable replacement. So stay tuned because I'll give you updates as far as how the search for unicorn continues, but I'll also start revealing about what Porsche's spicy secret is, and may even tell you who Porsche is as well. Now, if you like stories, then you definitely want to stay tuned with this one because it definitely gets pretty juicy. All right. Now, as far as unicorn, I was never really looking for the unicorn, but it was Porsche and her spicy secret. Stay tuned with this one because it definitely gets pretty juicy. All right. Now, as far as unicorn, I was never really looking for the unicorn, but it was Porsche and her spicy secret that got me onto this fix in the first place. So sometimes when you get that idea that's popped in your head, there's nothing you can do because it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. So that's what happened to me. And so if you want to hear the rest of the story, stay tuned and hear what comes up next. All right. But for now, that's a wrap, and I'll catch you on the next clip. All right. Bye.